So today's creation is going to be using this board that I got from Hobby Lobby along with this crate plaque that I got from the Dollar Tree. I'm painting it black because it's going to be part of the snowman's hat. If you're noticing, I'm painting in between the slats. I'm painting around the crate plaque as well. And then I'm now using a flat piece of wood that I'm painting black for the rim of the hat. So these materials were materials I already had in my craft stash, and I truly love snowmen. We don't get much snow here in Louisiana, and even the snow that we've gotten, even from when I was a child up until an adult, we have gotten have some years that we've had quite a bit of snow, but I just never got a chance to build a snowman. So this is how I build my snowman. So if you notice, I am hot gluing the crate plaque onto that flat piece of wood that represents the brim of the hat, and now this board is going to be the snowman's body. So what I'm doing here is kind of taking some of my embellishments that I'm going to make for his face to see how I would like to place them on this board. As I stated before, this board I got from Hobby Lobby, and I never thought about making a snowman face out of it, but just today as I was going through my stuff, that hit me. I just saw this in my mind of how I wanted to create it. So what I'm doing now is taking some beads that I got from the Dollar Tree. They have little holes in them, and I'm going to use those to represent his mouth. Like a lot of times we use buttons to represent the mouth of a snowman. I found these really cute carrots during Easter, and so I bought several of them, so I thought it would be great to use them for this particular project. And then I found these little flat circles at Hobby Lobby, and so I am now putting a smaller circle in the bigger circle to represent the snowman's eyes, the pupils of his eyes. Now I'm putting the hat, kind of figuring out where I want to put the hat, but I really like the way it leans over, cat a corner to the side, so I'm going to hot glue the hat to the side of the board to represent his hat. Now I am taking some ribbon. I've had these colors. I always think about blues and pretty silver and white during January, and so I am just making a quick bow that I will be able to put at the bottom of the snowman to represent part of his outfit. So I'm using this pretty blue first, and then I'm going to I'm measuring now the ends of it to kind of see how long I want the tail to be. And then I'm going to find another color, and it's a white. It's a pretty white velvet, and I'm doing the same thing where I'm looking to see which side is the correct side. And to be frank, both of them have the same material on both sides, so it doesn't matter how I twist the ribbon because they're both the same. There's no correct side or the side that, sometimes it's dull or it doesn't look like the side that should be on the top. But in this case, it's the same texture on both sides. So I'm cutting this one a loose, and then I'm going to add another piece of ribbon that has another blue that's going to be used as part of his bow. So I'm just kind of straightening out the bow in my bow maker. And then I'm going to put that other ribbon on top. And I'm using a white and a pretty teal blue as part of this bow as well. So measuring out my tail, and then this side did have the wrong side, if you want to call it that. So I'm turning it inside and twisting so that I get that pretty side on the outside. And our snowman obviously is going to be wearing some blue. We know his hat is going to be black. So now I'm taking it out and I'm about to figure out how I want the ribbon to flow, the bow to flow, so that we can place it on his toward his bottom, under his mouth, so it represents his neck. Then once I kind of get the loops the way I want them, then I'm gonna fluff them out, and then cut them to the side. I've already done that. As you can see, I've kind of clipped some of them to the side, so I'm still fluffing it so that I can figure out how I would like it to fit on his body. Even though he does hit the board, we're going to say the board is what represents his body. So after I've moved some of my stuff out of the way, now I'm trying to figure out where I would like to place the bow. And I did not show this on the video, but I did paint the little beads. I painted them black for his mouth. We already know the carrot is going to be that carrot that I showed you earlier that I got from Hobby Lobby in a pack. And then his eyes are going to be those flat circles. I'm going to paint one of those circles white and then the other one blue, so that he has blue eyes. So as you see it, what I'm doing here is I've now painted those beads that I told you about that had the holes on them, and I'm putting his mouth, arranging his mouth now that I have the ribbon where I want it. Then I'm going to hot glue the beads in the nose and the eyes to his face. So I'm arranging it right now of how I'd like it to look. And I think he just came out so cute. So moving it so I could see it a little bit better. And ready to put that hot glue down so that we can get his face put together. You're noticing I'm trying to still figure out if I want the hat straight or to the side, but I decided to the side. So now we're hot gluing the nose. Those little carrots are so cute, and I want to tell you they come with a green stem. So I just cut the green off, and then I took a orange paint marker and just kind of colored inside where the green was, just so that it looks more orange, and it worked out perfectly. So getting those eyeballs on there. I really like the effect of having the blue as his eye color. I'm wiping a little bit of hot glue off. Still wiping hot glue off. My glue gun is an older one. I've had it for a long time. I have several glue guns, and it's a very good one because I've had it probably since I was in college, and it still works really well. It's a heavy duty one. So when I can't find my hot glue gun that is the cordless one, or I have to wait for it to charge, then I always have this one on standby. So now let's get that hat in place. And get it hot glued on there. There we go. So he's pretty much finished. As you can tell, there's his bow, his mouth is done. And I am going to add just a few little snowflakes that I got from Walmart, I believe. It was a snowflake ribbon, and I'm going to put that across the brim of his hat, and so when you see the finished product, you will see that. So I went back in my stash and I bought this ribbon last year. It is an actual on the ribbon roll, but it is made out of snowflakes. So I thought it would be cute to add this to the snowman's brim of his hat. So I'm going to work this out a little bit with some hot glue. Kind of have it going under a little bit under the brim. I also found this in my stash, which is what I had kind of thought about putting on this hat, and if I find a spot I might be able to, but it's just a bow kind of made out of some raffia, and I was kind of thinking about putting it somewhere on his hat, so I'll figure out a place. So that's, once we figure that out for his hat, then we'll have this snowman ready. Now we're moving into another color, and so instead of having the black hat, this time we're going to have a pretty blue that kind of reminds me of the blue on the previous snowman within his ribbon. And we're painting our crepe plaque blue. Remember, I paint in between the slats. So that's what you're noticing I'm doing here. I also paint along the sides, and I actually painted the back of it too. So then once that's painted, I take the piece of wood that I use as the brim of the hat, and I'm painting it blue here. Again, you're going to see me painting the sides and the back. So this snowman will have the blue. And I ended up finding these eyes from Pop Shelf. And so I think on one of my snowmen, I'm going to place these eyes, these wiggly eyes, as part of their face. Now what you're starting to see is we're moving into doing a red checkered hat for the third snowman. So you're noticing here that I am using tape, and the tape that I'm using is frog tape, but it's not a very thin tape, so I have had to cut it a little bit, because I believe if I would have used the same piece that I would have used on a bigger piece of something that I was painting on, it would have worked fine. But because these little slats are kind of small, I didn't want the overall effect of the red and black checkers to look too big for this particular hat. So I cut the strips in half using my paper cutter, and it worked in some cases, and in some cases it was a little the paper would get, or the tape would get a little stuck to it, so it ended up taking up more time than I wanted. But I did get these done first, because once you go in one direction, then you're going to take the tape up, and then you're going to go in the opposite direction and paint. And so it took me a little bit, like I said, to cut it, but it got the job done that I was looking for. And I might have done it a little differently if I had to do it again. But you're just noticing here that I'm painting the spot. I painted the entire hat red at first, and then now I'm going in with the black between the spaces of the paint to give it that checkerboard look. Okay, so I found these little snowflakes at Michael's, and I thought that would be a good way to trim his hat, especially on some of the spots where I didn't have the checkered board like I wanted. So his hat is going to be tilted. So I'm going to go ahead and put some hot glue on this part of his hat and glue it to the board to the sideways. As you notice, I put some of those snowflakes that I just showed you from Michael's to decorate his hat, so they're already stuck on there. I've already glued his mouth and his nose. Now we want to glue his eyes. So that's one pretty blue eye. Now here's the other one. All right. Now I have made this ribbon or bow, and I was looking to see if I had anything else in my stash that I could place on it. So I found this beautiful piece that I can use maybe in the middle of it. I'm also thinking about putting this in the middle. So while I'm deciding, I might want to go ahead and put this up so you can see. Here's the little piece. I'm gonna go ahead and cut off this little piece of a tag that's wrapped around it. Trying to see if I want to do both or one of them. I tell you what, I think I'm gonna, this is my string that I used to tie it. Piece of jute. So I'm going to wrap that jute around it. Hot glue it a bit. So it kind of holds it in place a bit. This is the ribbon I told you I found that had the buffalo check pattern on it that I wanted his hat to kind of match with. So let me fluff our bow a little bit. Okay, and so it's gonna kind of go under. I made it with 3 loops. So I'm thinking about putting this here and then put the piece over it. So let's kind of see how that's going to work out. Oops. So here's the little bow with the button. Oops. Kind of came off because I wasn't holding it directly on there. Okay, so it's on there. And then I'm going to, this drives me crazy when you have this this glue from your hot glue gun, makes those little strands, and then I'm forever picking them off. I'm just gonna lightly put some glue on here to see if I can stick it to my ribbon. Try to stick it to that last piece. It sits underneath. Okay, now this is now where I will kind of fluff it a bit. And now we're going to see how we can put a little bit more glue on there. Stick. Okay, now so I have just a little bit of extra glue that kind of came from under that, so I'm just wiping it a bit. I wanted to make sure I had enough for it to stick. Now, I'm gonna put some glue on the back of the ribbon. I'm gonna turn it sideways. And let the glue do what it do. And so now we have our buffalo print hat snowman ready to share the winter season with a friend. All right, so now we're getting ready for our 4th and final snowman that's made in this particular way. And I'm going to refer to this one as a snow lady. We are going to do some pink paint for her hat, and as you're noticing, I'm taking some of that snow, forget what it's actually called, Snow Tex, but it's in a container that I got from Hobby Lobby, and I'm just putting it on the circles. And now I'm showing you some thick yarn that I also got from Hobby Lobby that I'm going to now, after I have now glued those circles down on her hat, then I'm putting that yarn around the brim of her hat. So she has this pretty warm brim that's going to keep her head warm. Now you're able to see the hot glue gun that I told you that was the one that has the charge. So that's my cardless one, and I love it too. So now we have her hat finished. We want to hot glue her hat, and of course, you know, it has to go to the side. So we're getting her all together, and now we have her face. We've worked on all of the features for her face, and everything is down as it should. I'm adding the last bead for her mouth. I'm so excited about the pieces I was able to make today out of the scraps and materials that I had on hand. I love these snowmen, and I hope you do too.